I'm Jasmine Anderson. Shock and heartbreak in Farmingdale this morning. 2 people are dead and 5 others critically injured after a bus carrying 40 high school students on their way to band camp crashed upstate. This is video of the bus being lifted from the 50-foot ravine last night. The MTSB is expected on the scene this morning. Early indications are that a faulty tire may have caused the bus to go off the road. Sherry Einhorn was at the school last night where children were reunited with their parents.
5 buses pulled into the back parking lot of Farmingdale High School filled with band students who were supposed to be on their annual band camp trip in Pennsylvania. The trip didn't happen. The last bus crashed on I-84 upstate, down a ravine and overturned, injuring dozens of students and killing 2 adults. Gina Pelletieri, or Miss P as she was known, was the band's director and a beloved teacher.
Miss P she was something else, she was really there for the kids. She knew everybody. It's crazy to think that a teacher can know so many kids so well, and she truly did. She put her heart, mind, and soul into the band. She was a huge piece. She really did bring everyone together.
Retired social studies teacher Beatrice Ferrari, who was a frequent chaperone on the trip, was also killed. The streets around the high school were filled with students, parents, and friends of those who were injured, who say they've been staying in touch through social media.
Jaw breaking, nose breaking, head injuries, wrist breaks, scratches, scars, blood everywhere.
Now, we did see several families walking very quickly out of the school parking lot with their band students and their belongings. As you can imagine, they were visibly upset and chose not to speak with us on camera. There were hugs from friends and candles lining the road as a show of love and solidarity.
We've been in Farmingdale for over 40 years. We're just showing our support for the community. It's a tragic, tragic thing this happened. An innocent band trip, and this had to happen.
Mental health counselors were also at the high school as students came back in case anyone wanted to talk. In Farmingdale, I'm Sherry Einhorn for NewsdayTV.
Just devastating, and that assistance continues today. Counselors and support staff will be available today at the school for all students, faculty, and staff. Stay with Newsday for continuing coverage of the deadly bus crash. Read the breaking developments on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A Miller Place man is due in court today, accused of raping a teen at a home for at-risk youth. Police say 51-year-old Manuel Rojas raped a 16-year-old resident at the Timothy Hill Children's Ranch in Riverhead. We're told it happened over several months, starting in March, on and off the campus. Potential witnesses or victims are asked to call Riverhead police. Accused Gilgo serial killer Rex Heuermann says his family needs his gun collection back. It's a story you'll see only in Newsday. Heuermann's lawyers are asking the court to allow the nearly 300 guns taken from the family's Massapequa Park home to be sold so the money can go to his family. The attorney for Heuermann's estranged wife said the family is struggling financially. Only in Newsday, a year after Suffolk's crippling cyber attack, the county executive has signed another emergency order related to it. Last week, Steve Ballone signed the 13th local emergency order tied to the September 2022 ransomware attack. The latest declaration cites the continuing threat to the public posed by the cybersecurity event. Week 3 of the NFL season is underway, and unlike Sunday, there was no giant comeback.
Pressure. Deep. Caught. Samuel.
After trailing 17-6 at halftime, the Giants were crushed by the 49ers in the second half. 30-12 was the final score out west. Big Blue is now 1-2. The Islanders are back on the ice, getting ready for their preseason opener. Andrew Gross has the latest from training camp.
The Islanders opened training camp here at Northwell Health Ice Center in East Meadow on Thursday, with the preseason opener on Tuesday against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Kyle Palmieri, the top 6 right wing, was the lone veteran not to skate with the team. Coach Lane Lambert called it a maintenance day and said he was not sure whether Kyle Palmieri will be able to skate with the team prior to Tuesday's game at the Garden.
I'm not sure on that. He's skating on his own, so that's a plus.
Palmieri has been skating on his own after tweaking something unspecified by the team during preseason workouts. The good news is power forward Oliver Wahlstrom, who suffered a season-ending knee injury in December, was back for the start of training camp. He says he is full of confidence, and he thinks the injury may be a blessing in disguise in terms of the confidence he was able to build through his rehab.
For me, I don't notice any difference at all. I mean, obviously I trained in Michigan. You know, my first rep back on the ice was against Jack Hughes and Kyle Connor, so that tested me pretty well, but I really don't see any problems.
For NewsdayTV, I'm Andrew Gross.
Read more about the Islanders on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box. Long Island hip-hop legend Rakim is honoring another Long Island music legend, John Coltrane.
Thinking of a master plan. Death with the record. Death with the record. Thinking of a master.
The Wyandanch rapper will perform tomorrow to celebrate the 97th birthday of the late jazz saxophonist. The show is at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library in Dix Hills. The Greenport Maritime Festival is canceled. The event was called off due to the forecast for heavy winds and rain expected this weekend, according to officials. Tonight's Land and Sea Gala will take place as planned. A pretty nice Friday for the last day of summer ahead of a weekend washout. Partly sunny with increasing clouds today, breezy at times, highs around 70 degrees. Showers roll in tomorrow night, or tonight I should say. Then tomorrow, cloudy and windy with periods of heavy rain and some possible coastal flooding. Highs near 61 degrees. And here's a look at your futurecast. Rain begins tomorrow morning and will last through the weekend. A look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say Install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
Only a Newsday. Turf or grass? The battle over the field surfaces on Long Island has been reignited after Aaron Rodgers' season-ending injury. So what's best for our kids? Jamie Stewart has the story.
Protection breaks down and time runs out. Down goes Rodgers and the sack for Leonard Floyd.
When Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon on his 4th play as a Jet, it shocked the sports world. It also gave Nick Zamperon a flashback.
He played four plays, I played 2, so I guess I beat him in that. As you can see right here, they drilled into my knee. They put a titanium rod into my shin bone. They put a screw by my knee and by the ankle, another screw.
Nick, a Comstock High School senior, suffered a broken left tibia and fibula after getting hurt on just his 2nd play ever in a varsity football game.
My cleat got caught in the turf. My leg broke, and I hit the ground. Instantly, I felt excruciating pain. I looked down, and my leg was the other way.
Football injuries happen every day, but Nick says his may have been avoided if he was playing on grass and not turf.
I've been playing outfield for the past 2 years in baseball. I've never had my cleat get stuck in natural grass like that.
Stony Brook Medicine's chief of foot and ankle surgery, Dr. Megan Paulus, says there is a link to turf and injuries.
If you have a good shoe with a good grip on a surface like a turf field, you could actually increase the power, but it does increase the torque on the lower extremity, and it could place an athlete at risk for sustaining an injury.
Of the 111 varsity high school football teams on the island, only 11 have grass football fields, 10 in Suffolk and 1 in Nassau. The cost of turf is in the millions, but athletic directors say in the long run it saves money due to the lack of maintenance needed as opposed to grass. And some coaches, like Farmingdale's Buddy Krummenacher, agree.
Turf makes a lot of things right for school fields because there's a lot of bad grass fields around back in the day, and it's hard to maintain a grass field simply because of the usage.
Sayville running back Kyle Messina, arguably the best back on the island, is also pro-turf, provided he's using the proper footwear.
My cleats, I have to make sure if I'm playing on turf that they're like round on the bottom, like the spikes. If they're too sharp, that they'll just like go straight into the turf, and you don't want to go like too deep into the turf.
As for Nick, he's made his name as a standout baseball player and has a scholarship offer from Stony Brook University. He says his work ethic off the field has him close to getting back on it.
4 weeks of physical therapy, 3 days a week I'll be going, get everything strengthened in my leg, and get ready for baseball season.
For Newsday TV, I'm Jamie Stewart.
Best of luck. Read more about the debate over turf and grass fields on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Feed Me is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
From tide to table, a look at the journey of local oysters. Scott Fogel takes a look in today's Feed Me TV.
I'm seriously loving these oysters. What are they called, like mermaid makeout? Which it's a perfect name for it because eating them is like making out with a mermaid. You know, assuming that you've made out with a mermaid, which of course I have.
Well, would you get a load of this guy? Scarfing down oysters like they're Zeppeli at a church bazaar.
What did you say?
Mermaid makeouts are meant to be savored, appreciated, not vacuumed up. Do you even have the slightest idea how that miracle of a mollusk ended up in your hand? Well, would you like to?
Not particularly.
You would?
No.
Yes?
I said no.
As in the opposite of yes?
Yes.
So yes.
No!
Our story begins 2 years ago in pristine Peconic Bay. Because that's how long it took for that oyster you're holding to grow from a seed into something big enough for fishermen to harvest it. Fishermen like Joe Fenora and his team from Hampshire Oyster Company.
There's a famous quote about how eating an oyster is like kissing the sea. Mermaid makeout is a play on that. It's like a smooch, you know, for a mermaid.
It's a very salty kiss.
The makeout is their pride and joy. A unique oyster, and not just in name. Hampton's method of growing them is unique too.
Nobody had been using floating equipment in this deep water, high energy environment. This is our plot. You'll see our corner markers are these big yellow floats. It's a square. It's 660 feet by 660 feet. So the oysters grow in these bags in the pontoons. These are some smaller ones that we took on a couple of weeks ago. They're growing really, really nice.
All right, here we go. Yeah, this is amazing.
Not so fast. Now they have to be tagged and bagged.
Do you know how to shuck them?
The best oyster is always the freshest oyster.
Yeah, this is amazing. Really briny though, but that's how I like them. I'm like Team Briny.
We'll drop the lines here to the cage that we're hooked up to, and we're gonna head east, right past Jessup Snake and Cedar Beach, over to Greenport. Right up to the dock at Low Creek, and offload 500 oysters that we just pulled off the farm. Well, you made it. Wow.
Yes. Wow.
I had no idea.
If any one of the steps had been missed, the boating, the checking of cages, the sorting, the bagging, the loading, the delivering, the shucking, that mermaid makeout in your hand simply wouldn't exist.
It's true, these are little miracle mermaids, and as such, they should be savored, enjoyed, treated with respect, he said, as he...
For more on seed to table oysters, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
When you're covering the courts, it's paramount that you get your information from a trusted source. I feel that at Newsday here, we're documenting Long Island history every single day.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with a look at your hyperlocal 7-day forecast.